to bear the night, exposed to the darkened trees and darker thoughts. A lost child. His hollow cries.
All right, let's get this going. All right, that looks good. So hello, welcome to those who are here live. If you are watching this as a recording, as a replay, you're also welcome. But obviously I won't be able to interact with you. But yeah, those who are here live, please do go ahead and, pop statements, questions, hellos, things like that in the chat. I do keep an eye on the chat the whole time. And I'm always happy to hear from others in the community on Behance. So I'm Joseph Lebrecq. I am a Adobe education leader and Adobe community expert. And this stream is an Adobe education featured live stream. I've been doing this for probably almost 3 years now, I guess. So if you're new to this, welcome. That's the deal. And I do all sorts of stuff on these streams. Today I'm going to be doing some composition inside of Substance 3D Stager, so 3D comp. And since it is All Souls Day, I figured on making something a little spooky. It says Halloween's not, it is kind of a one-day thing, but Halloween is the evening before All Saints, and then the day following today is All Souls Day. I almost think All Souls Day is the spookiest, of all three. So let's make something spooky inside a Stager. All right. And how are we doing? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to first lay down a plane. So just from the basic shapes inside of Stager, I just want a plane so I can put some kind of detail down on that. And here I get my little gizmo, so I'm going to go ahead and let's scale this guy. Make him nice and big. There we go. Got our plane. And from here, I should be able to start laying down some other things. So now that we've got our plane there, I'm going to be able to put some kind of a texture on there, some materials. And of course I could use the materials that come with Stager, right? Or I could use materials that I grab elsewhere. And actually, I do have materials from elsewhere. I just grabbed some stylized dirty rocks. Let's drag these in. I'm not sure if you can drag them right in like that. Oh yeah, look at that, you can. Perfect. So now I've got some stylized dirty rocks. I can turn on ray tracing so we can see a little bit better what that looks like.
ensconced in
And I'm thinking, let's actually change
working
how some of this looks here.
mortality,
Oh. Stager.
ignoring
So it's funny, whenever I use Stager on these streams, I always get a notice from Behance that I have a poor network connection. And it's because Stager takes up so much CPU cycles and such, right? That it really just kind of like pulls everything else down. So if you see anything weird like that, any stuttering in my video, that's why. It's because it's just how a Stager is, right? So yeah, let's see here. What do we have? Resolution 1024. We can have a look here and see what we might want. Like I could bump that up to 2048. And we've got different presets for this one. This is always nice with the Substance 3D materials, that a lot of them come with things like presets that you can kind of switch around the looks of everything, right? Soft, dirty rock. Oh, I like soft, dirty rock. Change all the colors and so forth. Cliff shape. Ugh. Roughness. I want it to be pretty rough. Erosion intensity. Let's see what that does. Ooh, that's chipping intensity. Yeah, so each one of these, if it's a substance item, an S-bar file format, usually you can do some real nitty-gritty stuff here with the variations. Okay, so now that I got that in place, let's put up a wall. So I'm gonna go back to my models here. I'm gonna find just something I can make into a wall. So I could always use, right, a cube and reform that into a wall, but we might have something here that's gonna work a bit better. We've got a cloth backdrop, right? Here's some stairs. Here's some walls, right? I don't want walls, door arc. No. Yeah, there's a good amount of stuff that comes kind of pre-loaded in here in your starter assets with Substance 3D Stager, but I'm gonna just use cube. I'm gonna reshape this into a wall. And of course, to do that, we just use our gizmo here. So scale X. Just want. There we go. Just hold down Shift. Turn that into a wall. And I can replace that. Or not replace it, but place it along here. And of course, we can extend it, right? Extend our wall. And maybe even bring it up this way too. I'm gonna copy this bad boy. So now, yeah, I got 2 cubes. And all we need to do is just flip this guy around. That. Reposition. So we're building a little room here, right? Pretty good. There's our room. Select everything. Oops, I duplicated everything. I didn't mean to do that. For sure. So those who are here live, how are you all doing today? Well, I hope. All right. These walls. I'm gonna find a material. And I'll probably just use one of these starter assets for the wall material. Volga Blue Granite Hand brown granite. St. Cecilia granite. Let's do St. Cecilia. Ew. It's not that great. Of course, whenever I turn ray tracing on, oftentimes that's when we get like a bit of a lag in the video. It's coming across OBS. Let's do Volga blue granite. That's a bit better. And of course, we can change our material options for these fellows as well, right? So if we go in here and we say material, we can have a repetition here, so make that much more of a repeating element. And you can see the cool thing is, like, even though I'm changing the materials that have to do with Cube 2, because I've got this in project materials, that's actually what's being done here, right? So I could unlink material here if I wanted to. This is a concept that isn't available inside of Adobe Dimension at all, that I find really useful when it comes to Stager. All right, there's that. Oh, I just saved it and then I saved again. I've got like tricky fingers. Gotta be careful. Because every save process, right, is going to take up more CPU as well. All right, cool. So now that I've got that guy, we can always use our, our camera tools to move around here and to get like a good view in terms of what we want to have happen. I have grabbed some additional stuff here and there from different libraries that I want to use today. So one of these things is a candle. So it's an FBX file. That's interesting. It's causing a bit of strangeness there, isn't it? Let's put it back on draft. Yeah, that's gonna probably keep things very very much, I mean, that's, gosh, isn't that ugly? All right, let's see, candle, what? So this is a group, as you can see here. This is something I grabbed from, I think the community assets. So like if you go up here and you're like, I want to add stuff, you can say browse 3D assets in marketplace. And that will come up with the Creative Cloud desktop app. You can look at all assets, you can look at free assets, and you can manage your assets. So I'd be able to find, other materials here, like this one. Stylized Island Cliff. Crushed painted soda cans. No, thank you. Banana peel. Oh, this one's pretty cool. Heavy cracked concrete sidewalk. But yeah, I think I've got everything that I want. I pulled this in from the community assets that you can get. And I think community assets are all free. Always. Let's see how we're doing. Not a huge turnout today. That's okay. Looks like we've got quite a few people streaming at the same time. Yeah, there's like 5 streams going on live right now. So, I mean, that's what happens, right? What are you gonna do? You got competition. But it doesn't really matter in my case, like whether one person attends these or, 500 people attend. It's kind of all the same. All right, so inside of this candle here, we can see this is very different from these cubes and planes that I've used because it actually has a number of different models in here. So I can turn off the candle if I just want the candlestick. I've got line 001, so whoever made this, I don't know what the hell that is. We can just remove it, I suppose. Oh, you know what? It may be Yeah, it's the wick to the candle. We've got this guy here, and then we've got plain. Oh, so plain. Let's turn that off. There we go. That cleans it up nicely, doesn't it? And I can remove, just delete that model. We don't want it. We don't want that plane. I've already got a plane set up, right? So yeah, please do, those who are here, let me know how you doing, what's up, all the rest. All right, this is the actual candle right here. So we need to add a material to this candle. I wonder if we have anything that's waxy. I could also use something that's more of a plastic. Cloudy plastic. That sounds waxy, doesn't it? There we go. Cloudy plastic. And then we've got our little, what's termed here as cylinder 002. This should be metal, right? I wonder if we have sort of like a bronze. Coated metallic paint. Metal rough, metal brushed. I could turn it into beer or milk, which I don't want to do. All right, let's go ahead and use metal. Hammered metal, that's metal rough. Let's do that. Nice. So here, custom metal color. That's exactly what I want. Let's turn it a bit more bronzy, right? Oh, look at these presets. Wow, that's pretty cool. So actually, I could... Nickel is something that I might want to choose, right? And look at that. That is so cute. So if you look at all these presets here, grain type. Oh, wow. Let's do sandblasted. I want it to be kind of rough like that. And then we've got these metal presets. So we've got mercury, magnesium, nickel. And you can see we've actually got the elemental abbreviation right after there. So that's kind of fun. You can learn your, what's it called? Copper. Yes. And of course, you can always enable ray tracing to see how this looks. Now at this point, we've got a bit of a deficit when it comes to our lighting, right? The lighting is very plain right now for our environment. So let's find a better lighting situation here. So if I go into environment, you can see, what do we have? Lights. Environment, light. And here we've got a little image that the light is being derived from. So of course we can go over here and locate additional lighting.
Exposed.
Villanova. Now. Studio 80s horror flick beat. Really scary. But, you know, it's a little too much, right? So let's, Studio 4, very dimly lit lighting. Ah, that's actually looks pretty cool.
Walking in circles.
Let's add in a new camera as well. I'm gonna add camera. There we go. We've got our camera here.
Arriving at sun.
I can orbit around. So what are we gonna do? We are going to... God, that is an ugly little, candle's not that great, right? Let's go ahead and add in some additional stuff. I want to put a nice skull. Which... I grabbed a human skull from actually Adobe stock. So that's another place you can get assets from, is from Adobe Stock. It's a human skull OBJ file. So there's lots of different types of files that you can use, right? Inside of, oh, look at that. Inside of our friend here. Stager. Nice and spooky. So yeah, we need to start thinking about composition beyond what I've got going on here, right? So here's our skull. Obviously, we don't want it to be this kind of, it's got like this human skull kind of coloring on it here. I have an SBAR file, so a material file called Human Blood. I'm gonna drop that on there. This will probably look pretty creepy. Excellent. Human blood. So I want to have this guy sort of emerging, right, from our wall. It's a bit big. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. This guy. Nope, not him. Let's do it for this one then. Oh, that's weird. Look at that. Ugh. Lots of neat stuff you can do. There we are. We'll bring that up. So I want to make this sort of like a... Oh, wow. Gotta go way back there. Be careful, Joseph. Let's make sure to position him. There we go. I want him emerging from the wall like this. That's pretty cool. No one has said hi yet. Everybody, say hi in the chat. Come on.
Considering my absolute and unavoidable failure.
Go ahead and save this. Yeah, so this Human Blood SBAR file. Let's finish saving here, but we want to look at its different properties. There we are. So let's do that. Substance, Human Blood. I wonder if it has different presets. Oh, look at that. Bloody medium skin. Oh. Full covering blood. Little thick blood. Ooh, I like little thick blood. That looks really good with the skull. Because you don't want too much blood with the skull, or, right? It just gets, you know, skull is bone, so, you know. You don't want too much, something that looks like skin. So for this candle, I definitely do want, and I just saved again by mistake. It's gonna take a moment. That wasn't that too bad. That's good. All right, so I want to put a light in here. We do have lights up top here. So let's see, directional point spot. So I guess this would be a point light, right? If I drag this guy onto here, to that area. And then we can shift him around somewhere. So can the light... It's always interesting, is like, can the light actually be... Oh yeah, it can, look at that. I've got it right up on top there. Cool. So the properties for this light, the color, I need it to be the color of flame. Oh, look at that. See, this is when stuff starts getting really cool. You put all this you set up this content, right? Bring that exposure up quite a bit. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Getting a little too excited about it. But that's pretty cool. Come on. All right, let's change this guy. Change the rotation here a little bit so it's emerging, right, from the wall. We want it to look like it's just coming out of the wall really nice. So we need to adjust its rotation and so forth. Getting the wall. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, so this light that we've got going on right here. And yeah, we've got a good amount of people here. People, I want you to say hello. Let me know how it's going. How's life? We need some kind of flame here, right? And let's... some kind of flame with our candle. But first, a little ray trace preview. It's looking good. I'm gonna flip it off though, because, of course, let's put it back on medium, because it's gonna look a lot better. Shadow resolution, let's pull it down to half for our preview. I mean, this is really nice. You know, Stager is nice, and I've been very critical of Adobe when it comes to how they handled things with Dimension, right? But, I mean, this is beautiful. How can you stay mad, right? When you've got access to something like this. I mean, it's better than Dimension for sure. And in case people don't know, Stager and the entire Substance 3D suite is free for education. So this is an education-focused live stream. Let me find the URL for that for you. So if you are a student, if you are faculty, if you are staff affiliated with an educational institution, you will be able to get this for free. Right here. So substance3d.adobe.com/education. And it used to be you could sign up for a free account and you would get Painter, Sampler, Designer, and some assets. You were not able to get Stager, what we're working on today. That's not true anymore. Now this account comes with Stager. And Modeler, actually. So if you are into modeling, there's Modeler. So let me pop that into the chat here. Those of you who are education focused, trick or treat. Yeah, it was kind of tricky, like figuring out what I was going to do. I've got a chapter in my most recent book, which here you can get 35% off with code Lebrec at adobepress.com/Lebrec. It's a Creative Cloud classroom in a book, and it does cover 3D. I use Dimension in the book, but I do heavily imply that you can do the same stuff with Stager, and that Stager is the better option. It was a little tricky trying to figure out whether I should go through and use Dimension or Stager. You know, Creative Cloud, Stager is technically not part of Creative Cloud. It's part of the Adobe Substance 3D suite, which is a separate subscription. But how could I not write a chapter on this stuff, right? So, yeah, we do Dimension there, but it's okay. Dimension's going to be around for a couple of years at least. So it is fine. Like, if you are using Dimension, Dimension still works great for a lot of stuff. Obviously, there's more tools with Stager, and Stager, you know, is the better product for sure. But, yes. So what was I going to do? Oh yeah, I want to find a... It reminds me of, you know, so we're doing this for All Souls Day, which is today. This reminds me of, like, the catacombs, right? Roman and French catacombs, where you've just got, like, skulls and bones that have been made part of the experience as you walk through, you know, the tunnels and so forth. Little makeshift altars made out of the bones of the dead. Fun stuff. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go over here. It's like browse 3D assets in Marketplace. Let's see if we can find anything. So I'm gonna look in all assets, and I want to do a search for flame. Get a bunch of materials. I want to see. I don't want materials. We can go to our 3D assets on Substance. That takes us over here. Now I can look for flame. And I want to make sure to go into models. I mean, my candle wick is so small that you probably wouldn't even notice. And actually, I need to scale my entire candle group down. Oh, look, here's a different skull. Oh, there's all sorts of bones. Gosh. So this is one of the cool things, too, is like this library of content. It's pretty nice. Why when I search... Oh, it got rid of my search. Flame... All formats. I want an FBX, probably. Nope. I want an OBJ, GLB, MDL. No. Okay. So there are no flames. That's really weird. Okay. Whatever. We'll just pretend. Pretend there's a flame. Actually, you can use other things too, like this is Turbo Squid. So you can pull down different content from here. I'm looking at their free collection. And now I'm looking at Candle. But maybe I want a flame from here. Right? Gosh. There's some rather silly looking ones. Flame emoji. What is this? Fire collection. I mean, this is a VDB file, which I'm not even sure that Stager can access. Let's go back and try to find those candles. I think, if I remember right, this is where I actually got the candle I'm using now. It's from here. Oh yeah, there it is, right? So these candles, some of these do have flames. This one does have flames. So I can probably repurpose the flames from this one, right? There is an FBX. FBX does really good in Stager. OBJ does good too. So let's go ahead, show all. Let's grab that FBX file. There it goes. So. Let's just drag this guy in here. It's going to bring in all the different assets. What the hell? Is this the wrong candle? It is. All right, let's undo. That is not the right candle. Oh, here we go. It's come down as a little. What is that? Yeah, I'm kind of like, what? Candle 1 FBX. No, that was right. 928. But it looks like that same candle. That's the exact same candle. So what just happened here? Undo. I wonder if it saved it down to someplace different. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Who cares? Let's scribe something upon the wall on this side. And actually, as mentioned, I do need to take this candlestick down a little bit. It's quite large, right? So let's pull that down. As soon as it finishes saving. There you go. Aren't you a good boy? There you go. All right, let's go ahead. Better. I'm going to shift this candle back here a bit. And we're going to move the light with it as well. Right? And to confirm, orbit around. Whoa, that light is not lined up, is it? So what we need to do is take that back a bit. There we are. Now the light is lined, almost lined up with our candle. There we go. Right? You know, we're gonna get this one of these days. Let's go ahead and shift that up a bit. There we go. Yeah, so, you know, talking about All Souls Day, I remember so I'm from Massachusetts. So anybody in the chat from Auburn, Massachusetts? I'm not from Auburn, but or Worcester. I'm not from Worcester either. But you might be familiar with, well, this is a really long time ago, right? It's when I was a little child. We had a store called The Fair. And it was just a regular kind of department store. Not a big deal, you know? But right next to this department store called The Fair is a like massive graveyard, right? And I remember, and I'm sure it's probably still like this today. I could look it up on Google Maps or something and see, because it was big enough, it would probably show up on Google Maps. You know, out of hedges in this cemetery, they crafted the request, "Pray for us," right? Just on the side of the hill of the graveyard. You'd always see it when you drove by. So maybe that's what I'll do for this. In remembrance of the fair in Massachusetts. Let's see, I'll put some text. So you can have 3D text, right? What the hell is that? Hello. There we go. Yes. So I got my text here. Let's make it real creepy. Now, oh, there we go. Lorem ipsum. And right now it's using Arial Black. Look at this. So here's something that has driven me absolutely insane about Adobe XD, right? Inside of Adobe XD, you choose a font. Like, look at this right here. We have renderings of our fonts right here inside of Stager, right? Every other Adobe application has this, but XD does not. And I've made the request, like, please, can we have, you know, font rendering and dark mode? For years, no. So I welcome the inclusion of font previews inside of Figma whenever that goes through. Okay, let's find some text that looks kind of creepy. Because that's what we're doing today, is we're doing creepy stuff for All Souls in 3D. I don't want to do... Felt tip Roman might work, actually. But I use that so much. Do you all have, like... I think everybody does, like, particular typefaces that you, like, always just kind of, like, end up using, even though you don't mean to, right? So for me, like, Peachy Keen is one of those. I just use it all the time. And I'm like, I don't want to use Peachy Keen again. But it's like, well, that's actually the best font for this particular use case, so let's go Peachy Keen, you know? Of course, one of the good things about Adobe fonts is that you can just use whatever fonts you want. You can find more. I'm really glad they took the restrictions off of how many you could sync at one time. It used to be like, I don't know, like 100 or something, but honestly, like for most designers, 100 fonts, you're gonna want access to more. Let's use Chalk Duster instead. There we go. Very good. Chalk Duster. Down quite a bit here. And it's taking a moment to render as we go through this, right? There it goes. And let's rotate this a little bit. That. Position it upwards. And sink it into the wall. Oh, wow. It's so interesting, like, perspective-wise, how these things work, because, like, I'm thinking it's right at the wall already. Look, you can see the shadow down here. So I'm, like, way off when it comes to my expectations for this thing. But that's okay. And here we go. There we go. It's lined up now. Another nice thing about Stage here, right, is that there, now it's in the wall. I just want it to come out a little bit. And let's actually change the materials to use human blood. Very good. No. Text. It needs to come out a little bit more. Ray tracing. So the candle's influence upon the blood, right? is very apparent here. It is actually just like completely removing the blood. Oh, but you know, that's okay. Oh wait. Interesting. Let's actually go through and just pull this in.
Futility. Working toward finality.
There we go. So yeah, the problem was, and here, like this is my, got all these SBSR files and stuff. Put a little on the bevel. Oh, how creepy. Right. Oh my goodness. There we are. Save. Just keeps going.
Ensconced in futility. Working toward mortality.
Also, I have playing in the background an album called Last Things from an early morning letter displaced, which is all about death.
Impossible.
You can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all the rest. All right, let's go back. The canvas. Then we can get this kind of proper here. The candle, you know, I kind of feel like moving it again. Just maybe like over this way. Right next to the skull. I mean, that's, you know.
It is over.
Oh, look at that. I've got it pretty, pretty good here in terms of alignment. Back that up a little bit. We just want that to be kind of hovering. Hello? Friend? Candle friend, hello. Oopsie. There we are. And here we are. No! Look at that. That's not what we want. Gosh. I tell ya, it's tricky stuff, you know? You just gotta kind of move the camera around until you find exactly what you're looking for. That's pretty good. We're right there. All right. Let's shift this camera around. Like, how do we want this? Oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe we want the skull kind of straight on like that. See, the thing I don't want, I do not want the candle to be like in the middle of the composition, you know? All right. So, how does this look with ray tracing on? Let's see. Yeah, it's cool. Okay. Is there anything else I want to add to this scene before we call it? See, I wish. Oops. Wrong tool here. When it comes to this material, I do wish that we maybe had a little bit more of a surface here, you know? Make it bumpy. So I don't know if anybody has looked at, so I don't even know what this means, anisotrophy. It's like what? I don't know what that is. Translucency, got that. That's fine. If you have used Adobe Capture recently to capture real-world materials, you may notice that it captures them
Through the veil of purgation.
in a very interesting way now.
No one.
So if you haven't looked, check it out.
We are separated.
All right, I'm gonna say this is good,
Even
right?
from
I don't see much else here that I can do. So what we're gonna do is move over to our render workspace and we're gonna render this thing in high quality. Sounds good, right?
still.
Yes, Joseph, it sounds awesome. Thank you. All right, render workspace. So preset right here, medium, let's go to high. Resolution is full. And I'm gonna use the camera that I created. So it's 1920 by 1080. And we'll just name this All Souls. And let's just render a PNG file. I don't have any need for a PSD for this right now. And render. Boom. There it goes. Now this might take my stream and bring it to its knees, right? Because the rendering is going to take quite a bit of processing power. And it's fighting with OBS when it does this. There's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. So while this is happening, right? Oh, it's going to take 44 minutes to do this. So, yeah, probably not going to happen on this stream because I've got to stop the stream in a few minutes so that I can go about my day. Doing things that aren't as cool as this, I guess. But, yeah, I do have some exciting stuff going on campus today. I got to drive up to Boulder, to the University of Colorado Boulder. And I've got some meetings that can hopefully result in some really cool activities with Adobe software on campus. And also, most importantly, I do teach class today. So in class this week, we are dealing with Adobe Audition. We looked over how to record and edit waveforms last time, how to set up our hardware, things like that. Today, we are gonna take those recordings and do a mix down, a multi-track mix down with you know, music, sound effects, narrative audio, and things like that to make a spooky little story. So Audition's cool if you've never used it. Yeah, this is going to take forever. It's 38 minutes right now, it's saying. So yeah, I'm going to have to just upload the results of this to my Behance after it's finished, which is going to be in a while. So that'll probably show up this evening or tomorrow, depending on how things go here. But yeah, should be an interesting day. And yeah, this has been a fun little project for sure. I've enjoyed building this. Bloody skull and so forth. Look at that candle. It is really glowing. And it looks like it's translucent as well, which oops. Didn't mean to do that, but okay. Who cares? We'll render this sucker out, get him up there on Behance, and that'll be that. All right, everyone. Cool. So thank you again for joining or for viewing this replay. Replay can be viewed on Behance, and I upload it to YouTube after a little bit as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, hey, how you doing? You know, if there are things people want to see, let me know. I'm also trying to get together discussions like I've done in the past. So like Adobe Education Leader chats, but I'm open to chatting with anybody really. Just having a free-form discussion live on Behance about the topic of your choosing. So get to me if you want to do anything like that. Yeah, it's gonna take. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone, and I'll be back next week, same time, unless something happens. But I plan on being back same time. Actually, you know what? I'm at 59 minutes and 34 seconds. So let's wait a few seconds and give it a clean hour, right? Man, he's got some blood on his teeth there. That nose does not look right to me. The nasal cavity. It's very big. it's like as big as an eye socket. So one of the things that's always fun, right? I did a, you know, we do pumpkin carvings, right? It's always interesting. I always kind of go at it sort of like these streams where like not really much of a plan at all. And it's fun to see what emerges from that. Pretty happy with mine this year. My pumpkin. Well, you know what? It's been an hour now. So, for real, time to jet. Thanks, everyone. And see you later.
Tighter.